What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020, Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team since 2020, we've reached out directly and indirectly to over 300,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers. I also am blessed to be a featured contributor to the Fly Nubian Queen YouTube network, and that's where Black women have a voice. And that platform has 581,000 subscribers, and some of them I can see have jumped in right now. And then finally, I am a featured contributor to the Indie Soup Media Independent Content Creators Network that is powered by Dr. Tachi. And you know what? Dr. Tachi is with us tonight. There you go. There you go. Let's get some things out of the way. Primetime Saturday show store. There is the link, and you'll see it on most of the platforms in the comments section during this conversation. Next up, there is the Patreon, where you get 10 and 10. What was the last? Did you do a 10 and 10 this past week?
We did not. Aisha needed a little bit of a break, and she was making sure that she gave honor to her friend Mandisa.
Yes, that's why Mandisa. That's why Aisha is not here tonight. There is a service today, virtual service, so she wanted to be present in that. So she just wanted to focus her energy on that and fully understand. She says, maybe just watch this one tonight, check it in. Also, join the Primetime Discord group email me at dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. Also, if you want to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms I host, again, email me dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com.
Well, I've been singing since I was 3 years old. And my husband and I, we travel and we sing, and he has 5 albums. He's also been on the nomination list for the Grammys. And so we have been doing things together for many, many years. I see that my husband works very hard. He has so many songs, guys, he can't even get them out fast enough. He's very much a creative. And, you could just be having a conversation and a song will pop in his head. And sometimes it takes months and years to get out what you want of this song. You want it to be just the way that you want it to be. But the way the world is right now, they want to gobble up anything that is new, and they want it quickly, and then they want to throw it away. And my experience with music and singing with my husband is that America is really not appreciative of music that comes out. They are okay in some areas, but they think music should be free, fast and free, no paying, no nothing. But yet it's the soundtrack of your life. If you go to the grocery, you hear music. If you go to the doctor, you hear music. You get in the car, you hear music. So music is around everything that you do. And so right now, there is a battle going on with AI and the creation of music, and also bringing back artists, guys, that are no longer with us. And there is no say-so or any rules right now that stop them from doing so. So the perfect example is there was a diss song that was put out, that Drake put out, against someone, Kendrick Lamar. And Drake used Tupac's voice. And Tupac's family is not happy about that. And they spoke out against it and said that this is not how this should be. He didn't have permission to do so. And they don't think that it's right that their loved one is being used in this way. I have to agree. We are seeing more and more of this. There was a friend of mine who put a great debate on her Facebook page. She said, I don't know how to feel about this because I love AI, and then I'm also hating AI at the same time. She put up a song of, and I don't know which website, I can't think of the website it was, where you go and you tell it what exactly you want. Example, 1960s Motown song, in the style of Sam Cooke, bluesy, and just put in everything that she wanted and say, make it about taking a bath. And guys, when I heard this, I thought I literally just I stopped in my track. Matter of fact, I played it for my husband and he said, stop it. Just stop it. It upset him so bad because it sounded so real. And the voice and the music sounded just like something that came out of Motown. There were little nuances if you are an experienced musician that you can kind of tell that don't sound right. But overall, with people not appreciating music the way they used to, or the time to learn music, or the time to put into making music, this is exactly what they want. And a lot of this music is already starting to make money. And I'm trying not to hog this whole conversation.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I mean, it's atrocious to me that we don't have respect for what people do. Now, if you're a doctor, oh, he's a doctor. You say you're a musician, they think that's some kind of joke. Oh, well, what do you really do for your day job? Let me tell you, honey, that's what my baby does. It's music all day long, and this is what we're both moving toward. I mean, I'm building with him. We just got off of a mini tour, and overseas, they gobble it up, but they want to pay you. Hey, you want to come to our town? We'll pay you. We'll shut down the whole town. Because if it's a little town, a little bitty town, we'll shut down the whole town. You'll be the whole entertainment for the weekend. I'm kidding you not. It is a night and day thing between the United States and Europe.
So to your point that you talked about, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, the top three, the trinity of good careers, nobody has anything to say, and you expect to be paid for whatever. Mm-hmm. Nobody takes on, with the exception of few pro bono cases, most attorneys are expecting to be paid, right, hourly. Even if they they say hi to someone for you, that will be X amount of dollars, please. Doctors, right. When you go in, I remember very well, I asked my doctor, I was like, well, can you just call me over the phone? No, you have to come in. Is it free? No, you have to pay. So they're expecting to be paid regardless, right? Nobody leaves their house unless there is a check attached to it. But for some reason, the arts are expected to be free. And we're both creators. I'm also a dancer choreographer. I'm also a visual artist. I draw and paint. And people think that because it's for enjoyment, that somehow it's supposed to be free. But I don't blame them, as Africans say. Anyway, I don't blame you. I don't blame you because society has set it up that way.
Yes.
It's even in media. How much free media do we get? We get
that's right.
We get a lot of it. I'm not mad at it, but a lot of it is free. We watch a lot of the major celebrities and etc. on network TV giving all of this stuff for free, and we're watching it over the air.
Yes.
So when it comes to, that's why sometimes I don't complain about things. Now you have a choice whether or not to subscribe to all of these different platforms. You don't have to because it gets to be costly, but I'm not going to complain about it if the artists are getting their just due out of it. Because as an artist myself, that's why I never complain when an artist says this costs such and such. Okay, fine. How do I pay? Because that is work. However, it is undervalued work in the United States. If you go any place else, you go to Europe, you go to Asia, the arts is a profession and it is part and parcel of a functioning society. It's only here.
And then in some countries, you get paid on what you do. If you're a musician, you get paid as being a musician.
Yes.
It's part of an acceptance. In America, it's never enough.
Exactly. And I also wanted to bring up, this is perfect that you brought this up, Lala, because I actually talked about this a few weeks ago with the Biz Chicks in terms of an open letter. And I know you know about this, an open letter that was signed by people like Billie Eilish, Nicki Minaj, etc., that was really wanting to curtail or stop the use of AI, because there are now, as you mentioned, apps. And what is AI? AI doesn't come up with stuff out of the air on its own. It is human
Mhm.
trained, and it is trained using things that already exist in the stratosphere, mostly the internet. So what it's
That's
doing
right.
is it's scrubbing sources from the internet, from social media, etc., to come up with whatever the prompt is that you've asked for. This is why
That's
now
right.
there's so much challenging of it, because artists are like, wait a minute, that's my work, or what? Because it's taking from these sources. It doesn't make it up on its own, which is why you have to be very cautious and very careful when you're using these things, because you can, although maybe not yet, but you technically are infringing on somebody's AI. Carrie,
Exactly.
right? I
Exactly.
mean, IP, not AI, IP. So yeah, so this open letter, it was Katy Perry as well, and also the estate of Frank Sinatra. Um,
Yes.
but this is not the first time that this has happened, right? Think about all of these legal battles that have happened in the music industry over the
Yes.
years. And I use this. The very first one was this. This had to be either 2013, 12 or 13, when I was teaching full time at the university. The summer, remember the song Blurred Lines? It was Ti
Yes.
and
Yes.
Robin. Yeah, okay. Robin Thicke and who was the other one? Oh,
For
Pharrell.
real.
Pharrell
Hmm.
Williams. So those three collaborated and they had Blurred Lines. So the first thing I did was like, how was everybody's summer? Has everybody, this was the song of the summer. Does everybody know about Blurred Lines? And they were talking. I
Yep.
played it. They grooved along. We watched the video. I said, okay, now I'm going to play something for you. And I played the Marvin Gaye song that it was based off. And they were like, oh,
They
they
didn't get
had
it.
no
They had no
clue.
idea.
They
They
had
had
no
no
clue.
idea.
So I said at the time it hadn't come up for litigation, but I said, trust me, the estate of Marvin Gaye is going to say
Is
something. And
coming.
sure
They
enough.
are coming for you.
So this is not new. It's just now that it's pulling from more sources because it has access to more sources. We didn't have rampant AI then like we do now.
Why does it seem that the entertainment industry is always a step behind? Now, going back in the day to Napster, they were behind with that. The whole strike in Hollywood, well, it
Behind.
over the industry, but the writers were sort of behind. Why does it seem that they're a step behind in this? Like
I just think that technology moves so fast that some people aren't even focused on how fast it can move. Napster created a lot of drama and things that can never be recovered back into the music industry. One thing that I honestly can say to you is I applaud the writers and the Actors Guild and all that for jumping on it when they did. No one is doing anything to protect the artists for music. So they never have. So I don't understand why they didn't get a clue from what the actors and the writers were doing to protect their artists now. I think that it just moves so fast. I mean, come on, Dr. Vibe, what was it, a year and a half ago before when it first came out, everybody was like, oh yeah, we got ChatGPT. Now it's a daily thing that people are using for everything from creating grocery lists to creating diets to help do a planner for their day, to do motivations. I mean, it's not just for that type of thing. You could do it for every day. So things change so fast. And because AI is basically feeding the beast, you feed the beast, it gets better and better and quicker. I don't see how we're going to be able to catch up with this anytime soon.
First of all, let me address some people use it to make up grocery lists. If you need AI to help you decide what to buy, we're doomed. We are doomed. I mean, I understand using it for everyday tasks, but something like that, most of us are creatures of habit. And never mind, let me not tell you how to use AI. Excuse me, whoever does that out there. Why? Why does it seem like Hollywood and the media industries are behind? Because they are, because they like status quo and they don't like change.
Mm.
You see how long it takes for things to be adopted by the media industries. Part of it is a money thing. I'll give you an example. So when you look at your local your local television station, most television stations are local affiliates of larger stations. There are very few independent television stations out, if at all. And so they don't get money from the parent company. So if you're an ABC affiliate, they're not giving you money to upgrade your equipment. So if there's a new standard that comes out, and for example, a few years ago when ATSC 3.0, which was supposed to be the new broadcast standard, came out, that requires that you change your equipment, right? The average station doesn't have a whole lot of money in their budget to do a whole overhaul of things, especially when they had just switched over barely to HD, to high definition, right?
Yes.
Everybody was not using high definition. So now you're telling me there's a new broadcast standard? So that's one problem, the money end of it. The second end of it is people don't like change. And I think this is just me. And it's probably an unpopular opinion. When has that ever stopped me before? I think that the media industries, the top, the heads, the executives in the media industry and the shareholders are just used to making too much money in this game. Or let me say so much money in this game. And so if I have to spend money, that means less money for the shareholders, which I am beholden to, and less money for me. You mean I don't get a $40 million package this year because we have to do X, Y, and Z? So they're not going to do it. It's only when their back is pressed to the wall and now you have to do this, then they scramble to find a way to do it. But America has always been reactive as opposed to proactive, because usually being proactive means I have to spend money to prevent it. And nobody wants to do it. They're like, well, we'll just do it now and apologize later. So I think that's another thing as well, that there's an old guard of people that don't want things to change. People like the status quo, and they don't want to spend money to make these improvements. And I won't say this because, again, like you said, I am so proud of these guilds, the different guilds, SAG-AFTRA, the Writers Guild, even, the Directors Guild at first was there. And now IATSE, the ones that does for the Guild for the Crew. I'm so glad that they're standing on, no, we need to do X, Y, Z, and then stave off things like AI, etc. Right? So I'm so proud of them. But at the same time, things go back to normal as soon as they have meetings with these people and they're like, okay, we can work again. So there'll never be a change. So it has to come from the artists too, because I think as artists, we accept too much rubbish from the people that hold the purse strings. And because they throw you a few pence here and there, you think you're good. But then they do something that really makes you annoyed. And then you march, you come to the table, you agree, okay, we're good again. And everybody goes back to the way it was. That's why when I was thinking, I was trying not to be so cynical, but I'm like, but is this going to go back to the way it is in 3 years? Because they come up for the contract again in 3 years. It's every 3 years they renegotiate. And nothing ever changes since the beginning of Hollywood. So why do you want me to believe that this time something is going to change? It's us as artists too.
Toby says, how do we best protect ourselves from AI robbery?
Ooh, I don't have a good answer. I know that you can always copyright your materials and do whatever you want to, but like as you heard us say earlier, we're chasing the rabbit. And so I'm not really sure how we're going to put this rabbit in the cage. And I've thought about it quite a bit. Matter of fact, it's something on my mind every day, because as a creator of not just music and other things, I want to be able to protect my image, my voice, my brand, my everything. So it's something that I've been thinking about, but I haven't come up with a solid answer.
This is a very interesting question. And unfortunately, right now, Yeah, definitely. The small things you can do is if you're ever writing anything like a screenplay, etc., make sure it's registered with the Writers Guild East or Writers Guild West. It doesn't matter which one. If you're in the U.S., make sure you copyright write things. Make sure you trademark things. If you have an idea, keep quiet about it until you get all of this in place, because folks love to steal. Now, does that protect you from AI scrubbing and getting these things? No, not necessarily, but that's why you get these things in place, because there will come a time where there will be able to be legal battles about this, definitely. So get your stuff in order now. Now, is that helping you for the short run? Not necessarily. The only thing you can really do in the short run is not put your stuff out there to be found. That's the only way. If your stuff is not out there to be found, then this can't be a problem. But then the thing is, you want your stuff out there to be found.
Right.
I
Right.
honestly say, and it may sound however, but I would honestly say don't worry so much about it. Get your protections, keep making, keep your records, and that should help in the long run when you are able to really, when there's legislation in place and you're able to litigate. What I don't understand is, well, we're about to talk about this. I will get to that later. I won't, but
we're gonna get to some more stuff, but yeah, I think, and it also, it goes back many years ago, and last Sunday was the anniversary of Prince's transition, and I remember him saying many years ago, don't let technology control you, you control technology. So again, and let's go back to his example, how he basically fought Warner Brothers to own his content. So I'm sure we're going to see the growth of AI lawyers or lawyers that handle
Oh,
AI.
I'm sure.
Yes.
I am sure of it. Here's a perfect example of how crazy it is with AI. I'm in several groups that help. We all come up with the prompts. You put in prompts for anything that you do for Chat GPT or for Midjourney or anything that you're doing for AI. And everything is key to prompts. You can't just say, give me a purple person with polka dots and expect that's exactly what you're going to get that you want. You have to be very specific. So I'm in several groups that, because it's really hard to create minority skin. We come in so many shades. And so I am always trying to get the right shade for what I want, for what I'm advertising. And there's this one lady, and it's become a running gag. She goes into all of these groups, steals people's pictures, which were AI created. She goes and puts them in her own page, puts a mark on them like they're hers, and then she sells them to other people. So theft of AI is already here.
Yes.
So that's kind of crazy, y'all.
Yeah.
I love AI. I use AI so much. I've created so many things, and like Lala, I'm in a bunch of groups where we share prompts. And it's helpful because the more detailed your prompts, the better your things will be.
Prompts are the key. The prompts are the key. The prompts is 100%. The prompts are the key. Right from day one.
Yeah, and to Lala's point, it is very difficult to find good royalty-free images for people of color, particularly Black people. So, and the default is never us. The default is always usually someone of European descent. When you say, if you put in professor, it comes up with the stereotypical, and that's because it's trained using what humans think a professor is,
and certain types of humans,
and certain types of humans, exactly. So, which is in a way, which is why we have to be involved in AI. We need to be there to help train these models so that the continued stereotypical concepts of what constitutes person X does not continue. So that's why it's so important to be a part of these groups, to be involved in the development of this, to come up with prompts that actually do things. I'm so proud. I have a soror who, Shauna Blacklens. I don't know if you've ever seen her, but she's on Instagram and she is an amazing AI artist. Her prompts are to the, I mean, I've never seen, her stuff is just beyond superb. So she's learned it to the point where you have to look and like, is this AI or is this a person? That's how good.
Wow.
That's how good she is. So we need to all be that good.
You know, and that's what I feel like. You feel like you're the Harry Tubman of the mind.
I am.
I feel like I'm the I'm one of the Harry Tubmans of intelligent Black people. Like I want to liberate y'all from like being left behind and ignored and oblivion. Now, really, the rappers get all the attention. You know, seriously, does anybody else feel this way? Like ignorant Black people, they'll be all up, you know, getting all the headlines on the Shade Room,
Overly sexualized Black folks.
over like the twerkers and the, you know, just people that, you know, don't always represent the best of us, you know, the diversity, you know, like people like Dr. Vibe. Like everybody should know about people like Dr. Vibe.
They
Dr.
really
Vibe
should.
he's trying to do good work for Black people. Dr. Vibe from Toronto. Good to see you, my brother. Dr. Vibe. Everybody follow Dr. Vibe. He has a great show. He's very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him. The men who are also doing the same thing. I see Dr. Vibe in here. He's a great brother. Everybody should follow Dr. Vibe, by the way. He's a smart brother in Canada, and we need to follow smart people. So follow Dr. Vibe. If you see him in the chat, and Dr. Vibe, say your name in the chat so people can see you. I want you to click on his name, and I want you to go follow him, please, because I want these men and women that are doing the right things to get the support they deserve. Hey, Dr. Vibe, how you doing, brother? Again, I like I always do, I gotta say everybody should go follow Dr. Vibe. He's got a great show. Dr. Vibe, I know Dr. Vibe's got a kingdom because I see your channel. I see you pouring into that every day. Everybody should follow Dr. Vibe, by the way. Look him up, Dr. Vibe, V-I-B-E. He's a great friend of me and my wife, and I love this guy. Okay, so let me hop into this. What's up, Dr. Vibe? How you doing? Everybody, if you see Dr. Vibe in the chat, everybody go follow the Dr. Vibe show. Dr. Vibe is a real smart brother and a good human being. I like the guy a lot, and he's very intelligent. And I think everyone should pay attention to what he's got going on. We got to shine the spotlight on the intelligent Black people out here that are really doing the good work. Don't just pay attention to the rappers and the celebrities. You know, a lot of these people are losers. Your true winners are your people in your community that are really having your back. You know, helping us to have stronger families and a stronger community. So Dr. Vibe is in that category. So you might see the Dr. Vibe show in this chat. If you see him, please go follow him. Okay. All right. So anyway,
I want to also, before we get into our next conversation topic, we need an Indie Soup media update coming from Dr. Chachi since it's just past celebrating its first month.
I can't believe it's been 1 month already. The 25th was the 1 month anniversary, even though it's weird, even though we're now going into week 6, the 25th, week 6 of it. So it was the 1 month anniversary on Wednesday and or Thursday, whatever the day the 25th was. And it is going really well. We're being received so well. The amount, like I have to watch the stuff every day, obviously, because I'm uploading the things, but I'm just really amazed by the level of creativity that's out there. And that this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying you don't always have to go and beg the major media outlets for space to say something, because they're not going to. I'm just going to be real about it. And so seeing that and being able to aggregate everybody together has been wonderful. We've been growing really fast on YouTube. So it's only been a month and we're almost at we're at 4,500 subscribers on YouTube. We started with like 48, and in 1 month we've grown like by 4,000. So by Monday, I wouldn't be surprised that if we're at that 5,000 mark. So we're growing really fast.
After Biden signs TikTok ban, ByteDance says it won't sell the social media service. So go ahead, Lala. I know Lala's not happy on this one.
Well, there's several reasons why I'm not happy about this. Listen, I very much understand our security, okay? And I think it's very important for our country to be secure. But I'm also like sick to my stomach in the fact that you guys are going after TikTok when Facebook and all them other things doing the same thing. Y'all, I mean, if you're going to go after one, you better go after all of them. And the audacity of America to tell somebody to sell their company or be banned is just shows you, you know, the caucasity of our country to try to decide these things. Now, another thing that has me very upset about this is the fact that they knew that they weren't going to get this taken care of. So what they did is, and they're good at this, the government's good at this, slipping it right on in there with the aid packet for the other countries. So, of course, it got passed because they were going to pass the aid packet. Now, I don't blame TikTok for fighting back, and it's going to be very interesting to watch this. I don't think this is going to happen as fast as people think that it's going to. So it's not like it's going to shut off tomorrow. They have a case, and we will see how that case goes. How it was done was actually, that was just slick. That was Slick Rick in the pool hall doing the way they did it. So I'm not happy about that. And I also just don't like the fact that we feel like we have control and to tell people in all other countries how to run their country and how to do their business. I don't like it.
If China said, well, I'm sorry, Apple, we don't like the fact that you have the App Store over here. So what you need to do in order to continue to function in China is sell to a Chinese company, or you have to get out. You'll be banned. America would be livid. Or livid.
Oh, we'd be having protests. We'd be doing everything.
Everything. So for some reason, though, you think you're above the law when it comes to that. First of all, it's a foreign-owned company. You cannot force them to divest from it. I understand things when it comes to national security, but even then, you cannot force a company to divest from owning part of its company simply because you wanted to. And
by the way, China just banned WhatsApp, but they ain't making them sell to some other Chinese company.
Exactly. And this is the thing. Yes, they've banned other countries have banned things before, but I have never heard of any country saying, well, you can stay here, but you have to sell to a one of our companies here.
This is not biting well at all. I'm sorry, Biden. You should that should have never been a part of that packet.
No, that's what I'm saying. How did that happen? How is that allowed to happen? You people on the Hill. First of all, I'm already convinced that a great number of you don't really know what you're doing, and the ones that do keep getting beaten down by the bullies on a particular side. Yep. So there's a lot of bullying that's happening. But how dare you it's like you should be ashamed if you represent a district and this is the best you can do. So I don't like this at all, because I don't like how it could also set a precedent for other things. It's not just about this. What stops them then from doing this with other countries? You find any five and dime reason to say that they can't operate so that you can take over.
And let me put this in your pocket. The rep who put this, Michael McCall.
Yeah.
He's the one who started all this garbage. And before he did that, y'all, he invested money into Meta. Okay? Big money. On 3 different occasions, he put in $150,000 into Meta.
I've heard Meta hired a whole pile of lawyers to get this.
Oh, yeah. Now, after he saw that it was going to pass, y'all, he went back and reinvested $350,000 3 times on April 1st, 15th, and 1st, 5th, and 13th. So he's putting all his money for his bill into the bank so that he can cash out with Facebook.
How is this not insider trading?
Thank you. Thank you.
How is this not insider trading? You had beforehand information of something that would possibly affect the stock and stock price of a publicly traded company. That is the very definition of insider trading.
If I've ever heard one.
I want to jump in. Both of you are content creators. You're very engaged with other content creators. Have other content creators talk to you about this situation, and what have they had to say, if anything?
I have several people.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have several people that I have. Don't forget, I forgot. I mean, a lot of people don't know, but I used to be over what was my title? I forgot. Everybody called me the mama. That's what they said. Oh, this Lala the mama helps us. I helped with people on a smaller app. At the time, it was called Live AF. And I helped content creators come on and learn what they needed to do. And a lot of them, after they left Live AF, went to TikTok, did the same principles that I taught them to do. And they are making good money. So immediately, a lot of them are back to me like, what do we do now, mama? I was like, mama don't know, because the government don't know what they're doing. But a lot of them are now trying to figure out what they want to do. It's just like Periscope. We all three have been on Periscope. I was very active with Periscope. Dr. Vibe, I got turned on to you on Periscope. You see what I'm saying? So we had a family and a community in Periscope. And when Periscope died, we all started just kind of blowing in the wind. We didn't know, some of us going to YouTube, some of us going to Twitch, and some. So a lot of them are also now trying to put more eggs in different baskets, because you can never in this industry, never in live streaming, you cannot put all of your eggs in one basket. You can't do it. So a lot of them are concerned, where should we go next? And that's what they're thinking.
I haven't talked to people in terms, that are on TikTok in terms of what do we do. I do know that there are many creators that are very upset about this, and they're willing to rally and do all sorts of things, of course, with the blessing of TikTok that only helps them, because there are creators that make a significant amount of revenue from TikTok. Howsoever, I always say this, that you talked about eggs in one basket. You need to take those eggs and put them in your own basket. It is not about the platform. It's about the people. And it's you as a creator, really, irrespective of the platform. Platform doesn't matter. The platform is PIM. It matters not. It's you as a creator that people are following. So if you tell them to follow you somewhere, they will. Because honestly, especially if you're one of their favorite creators, they're going to follow you from platform to platform to platform. I'll never forget with like the Zumba community, we love certain certain Zumba instructors. They're the ones that you're whatever. And I know that when I left, or not when I left, but when a certain Zumba instructor left the gym that I was at, a whole bunch of people went with him.
Sure did.
Because they liked him. So I'm urging content creators, first of all, it's going to take some time. It's not going to go away tomorrow. It's not going to go away. We probably won't even hear twitterings of this until next year. But so it's not going to happen quickly. But that's the time that you need to get yourself together and say, okay, I need an email list. I need a text group. I need to have an app of my own. I need to.
They will follow you.
They'll follow you. Do YouTube, because even that's the one that I know that has been relatively stable thus far. So if we're looking at places that are stable and you can monetize, if TikTok is gone, then your next best bet is going to be YouTube, probably.
Exactly.
Right? In terms of monetization.
And hence, this is one of the reasons I am also working very hard on my YouTube content. So, I mean, because at first it was an afterthought, I would post things or other, but now I'm constantly thinking, okay, what content will I be putting on YouTube? Because that to me is the most stable. But I also have things like Buy Me a Coffee, where I have a personal diary, my life diary that I tell people. I talk about the grief that I go through with my sisters. I talk about my dreams. I share me being bad on guitar. I do all that stuff, and people still come there.
I want, I have to ask both of you, with young creators, will this become an election issue for the president's election?
Oh, I think so. You've got too many people who are vested in this. I know too many people that don't even watch TV. This is their entertainment. And I want to also address something else that a lot of people don't talk about. We see these things as entertainment, but they're also great connectors, guys. when you are sharing, I know many people who have children with autism, they share their story. And there's a community of other people who want to see what they're going through because that's now their community. There is like a dementia community. There's a community for everything. It's not just getting on these platforms and talking about what's going on in the pop world or getting on and learning the dance craze. There is a sense of community of where you can go. Now, my husband and I always laugh. We laugh. We're working on like doing my office. I'm so excited about my new office. And I said, well, baby, it's been a long time since I learned I painted. So I need to go to the University of YouTube and go find out how to cut these corners. And that's the first place that I go to. So, you know, it's how to, it's also learning. It's also connection. It also good. There's true crime where help people get in, it's everything. So yes, there are a lot of people who are really going to be paying attention to this, and it will affect some of the election stuff. I truly believe that.
All right. Well, let's move on to our next conversation piece. It wouldn't be a prime time without 45 updates.
Sorry,
My
that
God. Well, y'all, if you ain't involved, you should be involved because every day is something new. Now, right now, y'all, he is going through a whirlwind of stuff that I think is finally caught up to him. These things make me have a little bit of hope that something will be done on this front. Now, the fact that it's what's going to bring him down is probably the case with the porn star has me a little twisted because you would think that, you know, trying to overthrow the government, you know, would have been one that would have took him down. But no, we're going to talk about a porn star. So the case against him has brought out some really interesting things, like how he has paid people to squash stories, to make up stories. We all know the National Enquirer is a piece of garbage, but he admitted, the owner of National Enquirer came in and said that he admitted that he conspired with him to stop stories and to create false stories. So isn't it very interesting that the person who outcries fake news is the one who's putting out fake news and who's behind fake news? That is one thing. Many of the witnesses that have come forward this week have not had anything good to say. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, it's not looking good for the prosecution. Now, of course, this case is not over. A rabbit may be pulled out of somebody's hat. But honestly, I think that Trump is truly banking on the Supreme Court voting his way, which right now I have anxiety over because most of the justices are kind of swaying in his direction all the time anyway. But I also feel that in this situation, they know better. They know that there's going to be an outcry if they don't give this the right kind of attention. I'm very proud of Justice Kagan and Jackson for standing up and asking the hard questions for Trump's lawyers, who, by the way, can't be in this courtroom because why? He's in the Stormy Daniels. He can't go to this one because the judge said you better show up every day, else I'm gonna arrest you. We also have the fact that he tried to overturn or lessen the case against Carol, Carol, and the judge stood by and upheld his verdict that he must still pay $83 million to her for the defamation. It's not been good for him. And it's showing on his face. If you guys really kind of look at his face right now, you know, he's always scowling. That's his face all the time, you know, that's just my Trump face. But actually, he looks worn down right now. Like, he looks like he's not had any sleep. And as we can tell, because he goes to sleep in the court all the time, he has just a lot on him in just this past week that does not look good. And I'm hoping and praying, I'm believing in humanity that justice will be served in some kind of way against him. However, what lessened my happiness was that he still won Pennsylvania. So people are still believing his lies and still supporting him. But I also feel I also feel that people are doing this because, once again, we are a two-party world. You forget independent. Most people don't think about independent. You're either all the way Republican or you're either all the way Democrat. And so even if you don't like your candidate, you don't want the other one to win. So therefore, you're still supporting them.
For the longest time, we have been the righteousness police in terms of what is right, how governments should conduct themselves, what world leaders should and should not do. And we're very loud when we speak about it. So now you want to be loud and wrong when it comes to this, because this is exactly the same thing and allegations that you levy against other countries for doing. This is pure dictatorship behavior. There is no way, except in a staunch dictatorship, then somebody who is accused of crimes like this should be allowed to still be the nominee. Never mind. Okay, never mind even run. But the party itself should have enough courage, should have enough righteousness to know that this person should not be the nominee. Get somebody else to do it, like they say on social media.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're so stuck. And the thing is, there's this, I do know a lot of them can't stand him, but they are scared of what he can do and the power, because you are so tied to that little bitty bit of power that you have, and you foresee this individual as being able to mess up that power. Anybody who, it's been shown, anybody who crosses him, that that's it. And nobody wants to go on that side. And on top of it, here's the thing with the GOP, they will be wrong and stick together.
Yes, they will.
They'll be wrong, loud and wrong, but they will stick together.
They will stick together because now they have a lot of the power. Look at everything that's happening in the country. Okay. They may not like Trump, but they like the power that they have by banning books, by, getting rid of DEI, librarians are going to be facing prosecution if they don't do it. Librarians, really? Are you really serious about this right now? Like, they are loving that they have so much control over the things that they promised people that they would never do, like get rid of Roe versus Wade.
But see, that's the marker of a dictatorship, where you have very few people at the top that hold all the way. You think that's capitalism? No, it's the way we're doing it is a dictatorship, right? So you have very few people at the top that hold all the wealth, and everybody else, well, you're out there for yourself, and we're going to make sure you don't succeed. Because remember, this whole school thing and everything, and of course, I'm a professor, so I believe in it in school, but I also know that school in general, no matter what level, was made for you to be part of the machine. So you're not really supposed to succeed. This country is not interested in you succeeding. This is why they tax you to high heaven. This is why there are all these rules and laws that are very difficult for the average person to understand, so that they're not interested in you getting ahead. And to me, it's the same thing like the mayor example I gave. You should be ashamed that you have a contingency of people in your country that cannot do for themselves because it's so different. You should be ashamed. And you call yourself a developed, quote unquote, country? How very dare you?
And they'll be the first ones to say, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. What bootstraps? She didn't even give me the laces.
Most people don't even have shoes. Never mind the bootstraps. You all are the ones that have the Fendi shoes with diamond laces. So of course you're going to be able to pull yourselves up. So it's terrible. And the rest of the world is watching this whole thing. They're watching what we do. It's not a good look. And I will say this, that I also don't blame people who are tired, particularly people of color who are tired. You're dealing with, you've already been dealing with discriminatory treatment through, even when rules were in place, regardless. They were still doing it. So now that we don't have things like DEI, et cetera, in place, it's free reign. So I don't blame people who are like, you know what, I've had enough. This country clearly has shown me it's not for me. So why should I continue to pay taxes to support people who don't support me? How can you be in a country that's supposed to support its citizens and you can't buy anything? You are a forever renter. I can kind of see if you live in a place like New York or LA or San Francisco, very high rent places, okay, that just comes along with it. But we're talking even places in middle America where
Mississippi, Alabama,
thank you
can't even afford to. California and Florida and Texas right now, most of the stuff that they have, when you do buy a house, your insurance and your taxes are higher than your actual mortgage. You don't get rid of those things, y'all. You don't get rid of the taxes and insurance. You might get rid of the principal and interest, but not the taxes and the insurance. You'll be paying that for life.
But here's the thing. I know so many people, especially people that have houses that are, like the $1 million range or whatever, and they're not paying insurance.
Last conversation piece. Another interesting thing in regards to what's going on in America. New York appeals court overturns Harvey Weinstein's sex crimes conviction and orders a new trial.
You want to know why it got overturned? Because they said that there were 4 alleged victims that should not have been able to testify against this man. Mm-hmm. So therefore, he gets another trial. Now, listen, guys, there were some big names who were against this case. Ashley Judd, being one of them, who has been very vocal about what's going on with this case. And she just feels like, you know what you're asking of people to come back and do again after the victims. Now you're punishing the victims for having to come back and recreate this trauma all over again. She said the courts are not a therapy session. They're not there for you for therapy. You have to do that outside. So now you have to come back and fight once again and go through your trauma and go through this whole thing from scratch to start all over. Now, listen, I wasn't happy when they did. I'm not saying it just because it's Weinstein. I wasn't happy when they did this with Cosby either. There is enough there. Where there is where there's smoke, there's fire. And there were so many that did step up. Now, I will also say that I don't always agree with some of the ones who are stepping up. There was a couple in Cosby's case. I was like, that don't sound right. They just trying to jump on the bandwagon. You can kind of tell when somebody's telling the truth, especially if you are a trauma victim yourself. There's kind of an unspoken thing that we know in body language and the things that we say, that we know you've been through what we've been through. And the fact that they're going to let this man out and have to punish the victims again, because I truly feel that way. They're punishing the victims.
Well, he won't let out because he's been convicted in other cases. He's not going to be let out.
This is just New York.
Yeah.
It's just New York. I understand. But still, the fact that this even got overturned, just it should not be. But then again, we just got to talk about Trump, didn't we?
We did. And there's a thing in this place with very powerful men being slapped on the wrist, being given the benefit of the doubt. Now, again, the way our judicial system is set up is that you are entitled to be represented and be entitled to be judged by a jury of your peers. I understand that. The problem is it feels like justice is never really done. Like this is all a pretense and it's just a formality for whatever. This whole thing with, and I do understand, again, with victims reliving the trauma, but that's because they don't see the people in these cases as victims.
No, they don't.
They're not viewed in that light. And therefore it's like, okay, well, why don't you come in and tell us again what happened? They don't know. They've never, and here's the thing. There is a disconnect between a lot of different professions.
Yes.
One thing that I have a problem with is that there is not mandatory training in medicine, in law, in tech, in the social sciences, when it comes to psychology, sociology, social psychology. You need that because you need to understand people. Every single one of these works with people. But when you look at programs in universities where these people are trained, a lot of these are electives and they don't have to take them.
That's
Therefore,
right.
if you never take them, you never gain the chops of how to deal with people in these things. You're learning on the fly.
Yes. 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 And if you don't have the tools to understand, then you're doing no service at all.
Exactly. And so this system persists because nobody involved has the tools to empathize or understand. The
Yes.
judges too. I mean, you may have some empathetic judges, but in law school, that's not what you're taught.
No. No.
You're taught to look at the facts. And
That's
that's
right.
all you look at. And you forget that behind these facts are human beings that have human emotions. So if you're asking them to come and relive something that is traumatic, don't you think that adds to the trauma? Oh, but you don't know that because you didn't have to study that or engage with that in your training. That's a
Nope.
problem, and it needs to be mandatory. So that's another thing that needs to be addressed.
On that note, we done. Okay, we done. Another epic conversation. As always, primetime Saturday with Aisha Lala. Today we have Dr. Tachi filling in for Aisha. Always good to have Dr. Tachi in the house. You know, you always have an open seat here. Two people that always have an open seat, you and Dr. Alicia. Anytime you want in, we make room for y'all.
You can actually touch base with Instagram. I'm always over there. So at Dr._Tachi on Instagram, you could see everything at the bottom here. Also, Indie Soup Media, please come and watch the amazing things we have. You can watch on indiesoupmedia.tv. If you have a Roku device, you can download the Roku app, the Indie Soup Roku app, and watch that way. You can watch us. We're Monday through Thursday from 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Fridays. You can find us on our YouTube channel, Twitch, on X, and on Facebook, all at Indie Soup Media. So we hope to see you over there.
All right, good stuff. And you can catch replays of this program too.
Yes.
There we go. Lala.
Well, I'm back on X, y'all. They let
How
me
did you
back.
do that? How did that happen?
No,
You
they
know
just
what?
finally probably got tired of me.
I
Probably got tired of me.
because I could tell because you posted one of the broadcast places on today on X. And I said people are watching on X.
Yes. So I'm back on there, and you can catch me at Living the Lala Life. And if you can't get life in there, it's usually Living the Lala. But of course, on X, it's Realty Goddess because I didn't create anything over there. But you always can catch me anywhere over there. And of course, guys, please come into Discord. We have so much fun there, and we share so many other stories. And we want you to come in and get in on the conversation.
So you can catch me, the DRVIBESHOW.com. You can also YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show, Instagram at the DRVIBESHOW, X/Twitter. I thought I was going to get away from there, but lots of people watch this live on X/Twitter at DRVIBESHOW. Email address DR_VIBE at the DRVIBESHOW.com. You can watch replays of this epic conversation. Lots of places. The Dr. Vibe Show, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Dr. Vibe Show website, the DRVIBESHOW.com. Also, Fly Nubian Queen. You can watch the replays on that channel on YouTube. So that's it. And also another thing, support Will and Lala. There's the link there. It's also in your comment section. So that's it. So let's shut it down here. As always, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourself grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith, and we'll see you soon.